Years ago, I had to make the video 7 Rules of Hellcat because I got sick and tired of watching inexperienced drivers use the Hellcat and lose to other cars because they forgot little things like not having the red key in their pocket or smoking their tires to show off when they first got the car and then forgetting that they were going to be short on traction when they actually went out and tried to race somebody else. I told people to never forget the red key. I told them that they needed wider rear tires, and I told them that they had to remember to use the technology that was already in the car in order to ensure that they'd come out of every race victorious. Over the years, I purchased my own Hellcat, and then I had to deal with all of these ridiculous fanboys about the ZL1 and the CTS-V and this car and that car, constantly throwing ridiculous comments at me about not being able to make turns around corners and being too heavy and blah, 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 blah. So this time, I'm making a video about the number of people and fanboys who've popped up online talking down about the Demon since they're so butthurt because they know that that car is coming with everything it needs out of the factory to destroy them on every single race they attempt to run. Number 1, stop criticizing how much the car weighs. First of all, the majority of you fanboys have never even driven one of these damn things in the first place, but you always find it necessary to make comments about how much the car weighs, knowing that the car has an iron block V8 supercharged engine in it. And then the same morons are the ones who'll drive out of a car show with a Mustang or a Corvette and then get into an accident almost immediately simply because you can't handle the front end of your car. You know why you can't handle the front end of your car? Because your car's too light, morons, and you've done your best to spend all of mommy's money or your wife's money or your girlfriend's money putting all those bolt-ons and bullshit in the car, and next thing you know, the thing spins out because you had 900 horsepower to the wheels. But then the problem was the front end of your car was so feather light that the thing slams into an unsuspecting crowd. You Mustang owners know exactly who I'm talking to. And as for ditches, ditches love Corvettes. Corvettes end up in ditches. I've seen very few, if any, SRTs ending up in ditches. I've seen very few, if any, SRTs slamming into crowds. You know why? Because I actually have enough mass on the front of my car to be able to tell the wheels, hey, wheels, go left, go right. Don't hit the crowd. You Mustang drivers need to keep your mouth shut. Number 2, if it's not production, it doesn't count. I've heard all of these people talking about, oh yeah, well the ZL1's got a demon killer coming out and it's got to beat the Hellcat too. Hey, idiots, GM had the perfect chance to build something powerful and they screwed up by leaving only 650 horsepower in that moron car ZL1 and that loser mobile CTS-V. Those cars were cool 6 or 7 years ago when the Hellcats didn't exist and SRT didn't have an answer for them. But guess what? Now these things are coming out of the showrooms, 707 horsepower. Guess what? I know it's common core math, or I should say communist core math, since most of you are so brain dead at this point, you can't even count to 10 without taking off your shoes. But guess what? 707 is a bigger number than 650. And when it comes to the Demon, production street legal coming out of that dealership with 840 is a hell of a lot bigger than 650, where I got to take the car, ship it to some dude somewhere in Texas and tell him, yeah, I want you, here's $10,000. Please put more power in my car so I can beat Hellcats and Demons. Guess what? That ain't production. You know why it's not production? Because it's not production. When the insurance sticker comes and it says, hey, guess what, sir? You have a Hellcat or you have a Demon. When you get your insurance sticker, it says, yeah, you got this bullshit ZL1 with only 650 horsepower. And meanwhile, the guy down the block's got the SRT and he's rolling out the dealership with 840. There's nothing you can do about it because GM gave up on you. Ford gave up on you. So when they're, and especially Ford, you know what bothers me about Ford? They had a perfect chance to use that Boss engine in the Lincoln. They could have made it an option. They had a perfect chance. What do these morons do? They drop it in a Mustang and they only put a manual in there. Guess what? Most people aren't driving manuals because they need to be able to share the car with their wife and their children, their significant others, their mistresses, whatever. They're not driving manuals. So Ford wouldn't take the extra step, develop a strong automatic transmission. So they left you out there hanging with your balls in the wind. And now you got to face facts that not only is SRT putting out a $60,000, 707 horsepower car, but on top of that, they're putting out one that's going to be less than $90,000, putting out over $840. And then on top of that, if you got people who don't have that much money, they've got regular SRTs throwing out $485, and God knows how powerful those things will be 4 or 5 years down the road. And you just got to deal with it. And as for you Mustang drivers, stay away from these unsuspecting crowds, because as much power as they give you is too goddamn much. And you talk how great about your manual is. You can barely drive the thing, and you keep hitting these poor innocent people. You people are a menace. As soon as they started talking about the Demon being so fast that the NHRA wouldn't allow it to compete, you got people like Autoblog. Oh yeah, well they should have just put a roll cage in it, because they should have known that nobody'd be able to compete if it didn't have a roll cage. Hey, morons, did it ever occur to you that anybody who's planning to buy something like this knows that they're gonna have to have a roll cage, and they're most likely gonna come up with some kind of custom work themselves? Did it ever occur to you that maybe, just maybe, that people who drag race for fun or a hobby or as a living, because some people make a lot of money doing this shit, did it ever occur to you that maybe somebody might say, I can't compete unless I have a roll cage. Let me take this thing down to my buddies down the block who own the auto body shop, and they can install a roll cage. You people are complaining about stupid shit that anybody with half a brain already understands. Furthermore, this thing is already street legal, and I'm pretty sure that they want to make it so that it's fully customizable, and if you want more seats, you can get more seats. If you don't want more seats, you can take more seats out. That's user choice. They're going to do it. Anybody who buys this thing already knows in the back of their mind how much of their Social Security check they plan on spending on the Demon instead of going out and buying crystal meth. They've already allotted the money. So why don't you just give them time to buy their car and bring it to the drag strip so they can destroy your CSV, your CTSV, your ZL1, and destroy your silly GT350s. Leasing makes more sense than financing. I got all of these people who, oh yeah, well if you lease a car, you don't really own it. It's not really yours. It belongs to the bank. Hey, you idiots. Even if you finance something, it still belongs to the bank up until you pay the car note off. But the question is, why would you want to keep something when they keep on improving on the damn thing? Imagine how all of those Challenger Hellcat owners feel who went to the dealership, financed a car, ended up paying an overage, and then realized that it was going to be a massive haircut, and they had a new street legal production drag car coming out less than 2 years later. When I financed my Hellcat Charger, that goddamn thing was $1,050 a month. And now you mean to tell me less than a year and a half later, now they're leasing these damn things for like 10,000 miles per year for only $599? I'd have to be an absolute idiot if I was buying one right now to say, let me spend $1,050 a month instead of $600 a month when this is obviously going to be a second car that I only drive sparingly on the weekends. There's a reason why they only give you 10,000 miles per year on that lease. The reason why they only do it is because they don't expect you to drive this goddamn thing in the winter. You know why? Because when you're dealing with rear-wheel drive, summer tires, or even the all-season tires, but you got that much power in the damn thing, the car refuses to stay below 35 miles per hour. They don't expect you to drive these things in the winter. They expect it to be garaged in the winter. But half of you don't know that because half you don't own houses, half you don't have garages, and the majority of you never had a cool car beyond some goddamn GTI that you're driving around in traffic trying to show off your wicked manual skills every single time you see the SRT badge and get triggered. I'm sick and tired of arguing with you people because you come up with the dumbest arguments, and your arguments are absolutely ridiculous. If you want a BMW, go buy a BMW. If you want a Mercedes, go go buy a Mercedes. I guarantee for the most part, most of you aren't going to finance them. You're going to lease them. And second of all, I guarantee that when you do lease it, that piece of shit will be such a low-level car until you might not even have automatic windows. You'll probably have those hand cranks up in there like the 60s. So please, stop messing around with these silly comments because you sound like ridiculous butthurt fanboys. And I know exactly why your butt hurts. It's because all your favorite foreign brands are being surpassed by Dodge, Chrysler, FCA, Maserati, Fiat, Ferrari. That's why you're upset. You're upset that your little GT350 ain't as fast as a Hellcat. You're upset that your Corvette is just waiting to end up in somebody's ditch on the side of a road. You're upset because despite that little bit of mass you got, you could barely drive your car without crashing it. FCA, Dodge Demon, Chrysler, Jeep, Hellcat, Trackhawk, Demon, we're coming and we're taking pink tickets.